Welcome to 40K Dataslate Review. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the Drukhari unit, Reavers. Reavers are one of many lightning-fast units among the Drukhari force. They sport a 16-inch movement, and not only that, they automatically move an extra 8 inches instead of advancing normally, meaning these things are regularly going 24 inches a turn. Reavers also stand out from other Aeldari models by being indestructible tanks in comparison. The models have 2 wounds, a 4-up save, and, wait for it, toughness 4. On the surface, this sounds a little more flimsy than a Primaris Marine, but after a few layers of synergies, these bikes can be proper tanks. Before that though, let's discuss weapon options. The models come with a splinter pistol and splinter rifle. Unfortunately, the models shoot their pistols, they can't shoot their rifles, so the pistols are mainly there for a few extra attacks in combat. Splinter rifles are a basic 24-inch rapid-fire poison weapon, meaning it wounds units that aren't vehicles on a 4-up. For every 3 models in the unit, a bike can replace their rifle for a heat lance or a blaster. Heat lances are pretty nasty, especially on a unit as fast as the Reavers, but a simple blaster may do the trick just as well. Being assault 18 inches gives these weapons quite a bit of maneuverability, and the 3+ BS means they don't suffer too terribly from advancing and shooting. The champion of the unit can take a couple close combat weapons if you so choose, to give the model extra AP. The regular bikes have 2 attacks and come equipped with blade vanes. These are strength 4, AP 1, which is decent enough as far as Drukhari close combat attacks go. Not only do Reavers have weapon options, they have war gear options. For every 3 models in a unit, a bike can take 1 of 2 upgrades. Cluster caltrops affect units falling back from bikes with this item. On a roll of 4 up, the unit suffers a mortal wound. What may be more exciting are the Grav Talons. When a model with the Talons ends a charge move within 1 inch of an enemy unit, they deal a mortal wound on a 4-up. In either case, you're only getting up to 4 models of these pieces of equipment, so after 4 4-up rolls, you're left dealing 2 mortal wounds on average. You be the judge whether that's worth the points. Power from Pain and Combat Drugs are 2 common special rules to the Drukhari, but Reavers may be the most augmented by having these 2 rules. Starting with Power from Pain, Reavers gain a cumulative bonus depending on which turn it is. On the first turn, Dark Eldar players will rejoice with a 6-up Feel No Pain save. On turn 2, they will reroll charge rolls, which will make their charge even more guaranteed. Turn 3, they will be hitting on 2s in combat, which is a welcome addition. Turn 4, they ignore morale tests, and turn 5, they reduce nearby enemy leadership. While it is pretty late in the game, reducing nearby enemy leadership is potent on models that will be in the enemy's face. While these buffs are great, Combat Drugs is where Reavers get their fix. The ability allows the unit to choose 1 of 6 augments to apply for the duration of the game. +1 attack, +1 strength, +2 inches to movement, all pretty decent. But what really gives the high the Reavers are looking for is Painbringer, +1 to their toughness. Reavers received a huge point decrease with the 2018 Codex, and now they are less than 20 points each, still somewhat expensive, but not bad. They start in units of 3 and max out in units of 12. Players taking 3 may do it to have an extremely fast objective grabber. Maybe throw a blaster or a lance on there for a bit of an added threat. Multiple small units of 3 Reavers can be very annoying to deal with, and engage quite a few units even in the first turn of the game. Another way Reavers are likely going to be run is in larger units. Taking the maximum will be quite effective but expensive. It is awfully inviting to take 4 special weapons in a maxed out unit, and it's probably the best route. Either weapon is fine, but I'd personally go for the cheaper one in a vain attempt to keep costs down. A unit of 12 can put out some damage, and it can also spread out a lot. If they can survive the Overwatch, charge into multiple units to keep them from shooting the next turn. Better yet, since they are so fast, just move them close to multiple enemy units, charge 1, and engage the others with your pylon. Because Reavers are so fast, they will be perfect for engaging units in the opponent's backfield they thought were safe. Sometimes, even if they aren't doing the damage with their attacks, keeping units from shooting is just as valuable as destroying them. In any case, they should be keeping to cover as much as possible to try to stay at a reasonable 3-up save. Always give the Reavers Painbringer to give them a chance at survival. You'll be glad you did. If the army includes more than 1 unit of Reavers, take the additional attack buff to make them a bit more offensive. Reavers are a bit pricey to screen, but they can surround Drukhari transports, especially the Venoms, to ensure an enemy doesn't surround and destroy them, keeping passengers from disembarking. Reavers, like other Drukhari, have plenty of synergies. As they are part of witch cults, they have 3 options to choose from for their obsessions. Cult of Strife will increase their attacks by 1 when charging or charged, and their cult-specific stratagem allows them to fight again if they killed something in the combat phase, or shoot again if they killed something in the shooting phase. The really important obsession is the Cult of Red Grief. The ability granted to its followers allows models to advance and charge, plus reroll failed charges. Jetbikes moving 24 inches and rerolling their charge can engage just about anything turn 1. Since the Alpha Strike from Reserves rules have changed, models that can move across the board and charge have become all the more important, and Reavers fill this role perfectly. The Cult Stratagem Athletic Aerialist can also provide some cheeky tricks. Until an FAQ, Reavers can use this stratagem after attacking to make a clean 6-inch move towards a transport. If a transport is positioned behind a combat, Reavers could easily use this move to disengage the enemy and prevent the opponent from swinging back. Combined with the counter-offensive stratagem, the Reavers could even disengage after being charged, but before the enemy swings on them. Outside of cult-specific bonuses, Reavers still have a few synergies. Architects of Pain pairs well with Power from Pain, allowing models to get a buff a turn earlier. Used on turn 4, and the bikes that are hopefully still right in the opponent's face can start reducing leadership a turn early. Lightning Fast Reaction will be pivotal to help keep the Reavers alive in the shooting phase. For 2 CP, decrease the enemy to hit rolls by 1. Fire and Fade will also be invaluable in the moments the Reavers want to shoot their blasters and splinter weapons, but they don't have a good target to charge. Use this to move the Reavers out of line of sight after shooting their weapons. Eviscerating Flyby is a stratagem that allows the models to do mortal wounds on models it advances over. This is probably better left to Hellions to use, since they have larger units, but the Reavers are so fast they may be able to touch places Hellions can't. The key stratagem to note for the Reavers, though, is the Hyperstim Backlash. For 2 command points, the Reavers can double their bonus from combat drugs, making these Aeldari models toughness 6 for an entire battle round if they choose Painbringer drugs. This is an incredible ability, but comes at a high cost. Roll a die for each model in the unit. On a 1, they are dealt a mortal wound. Use this ability on a large unit only if you are confident that the added bonus will decrease the wounds inflicted on them by at least 2, since they are statistically losing 2 mortal wounds from the backlash. While this is a great ability, the increase from toughness 5 to 6 often goes unnoticed. Only use this ability when facing strength 3, 5, 6, or 10 models, as these are really the only times the roll to wound will be influenced. Force enemies to roll 6s or keep them from rolling 2s. This ability can come in handy, but should not be overused since it is quite high in cost. Another advantage this ability has is psychological. If the opponent has multiple threats to deal with, including the Painbringer Reavers, the Hyperstim stratagem used on them may keep the opponent from bothering to target them altogether. Even if they don't have weapons with the prescribed strength values, knowing the bikes are toughness 6, probably the toughest thing in the army, may discourage the opponent from trying to take them down. As this is used at the beginning of the battle round, it can even be used if the opponent goes first, possibly giving the Reavers enough durability to survive. Reavers also fit well into a Ynnari faction. After they kill something in combat, they could easily fly 24 inches back out of reach. Reavers receive a 4 out of 5. They are an insanely fast, durable unit that can contend in the shooting and combat phases. What do you think of Drukhari Reavers? What data slates would you like to see reviewed next on the channel? Leave your thoughts, questions, and suggestions in the comments below, and thanks for watching.